Hey, everybody, welcome to the show. We're going to have a little bit of a conversation about somebody who's returning, but probably not to comics. And we're going to look at some comics and talk comics and all that kind of stuff. So stick around. Take it away. Take it away, DNA.
Hey guys, what's up? It's David Nakayama coming to you live from San Diego Comic-Con on the very last day. Just a quick message for Fantastic Comics run by the amazing Yul Carter. Just wanted to say you guys are awesome. Thanks for stocking my books and for getting the word out there. Have a good one, guys.
Tie a yellow ribbon round the old oak tree. It's been 3 long years. Do ya still want me? If I don't see a ribbon round the old oak tree, I'll stay on the bus, forget about us, put the blame on me.
Did you know that every 7 minutes a black person is born in this country without soul? Hello, I'm B.B. King. Won't you help Don Simmons and the thousands of others that suffer from this tragic disorder? Its cruel symptoms can strike anyone. Let's take a look.
I think the Republican Party has done one heck of a job. Don't you, June?
I'll say, Ward, we Republicans have turned this country around.
Safety and good mileage are the 2 things I looked for in a new car. That's why I bought a Volvo station wagon.
Hi, I'm president of the David Hartman fan club here in Glendale. I've even met David Hartman once. What a neat guy.
Chim chimney, chim chimney, chim chim cherry. A sweep is as lucky can be. Chim chimney, chim chimney, chim chim cheroo. Good luck will rub off when I shake hands with you.
This is B.B. King saying, won't you please give, so that Don Simmons here and so many others can become useful members of society.
Or below me a kiss, and that's lucky too.
Right to blacks without soul. Post Office Box 1305A, Atlanta, Georgia. Thank you.
You know, folks, I can do all kinds of farts. I can do little granny farts, or great big beer drinking truck driver farts. I can fart like a turtle, or I can fart like an astronaut.
T-C.
Ooh, 5 cents each. Junk. Junk. The airplane's upside down. Stratohoovius?
Wonderful. Are you all right?
Scorching wedgie!
No! Take that costume off!
What's the matter, Captain Funtime?
Fiends and
This what you've always wanted?
what are you talking about?
Wouldn't it just fix everything twisted up inside of you if you could only fuck Wonder Boy and your worst enemy at the same time, huh? Well, come and get us!
Shit!
Where do you want it, Captain?
You get away! Get away!
Where do you want my pussy?
Dirty!
Here?
Talking dirty!
Alan Pearl. Interesting. How do these people, where do they come from? You know, sure, I'd seen him around. It would never have occurred to me to walk up to the dentist and say, you know, are you interested in this? But I was shopping for my wife, Bonnie. I buy most of her clothes. And Mrs. Pearl was in the same shop. And it just was an accident. You know, we started talking about pantyhose. She was saying, whatever, that's not the point of the story, but what the point is was that through this accidental meeting. It's like, it's like a Hitchcock movie where, you're thrown into a rubber bag and put in the trunk of a car. You find people. You find them. Something. Is it karma? Maybe. But we found him. That's the important thing. And I got Bonnie a wonderful pantsuit.
Here's John Wayne at a party where he was honored after receiving his Best Actor Oscar for Rooster Cogburn. Oh, look, at the same party, it's America's eternal teenager, Dick Clark. Hey, Dick. So that's your secret.
She really did some job on you. You know how fucking nuts you are? Look what she did to you.
You fucked my wife.
What?
You fucked my wife.
How could you ask me a question like that? How could you ask me? I'm your brother. You ask me that? Where do you get your balls big enough to ask me that?
Where's your robe, Ignacio?
It was stinky, but these are my recreation clothes.
They look expensive.
Thank you. I mean, yes, they may have the appearance of riches, but beneath the clothes, we find a man. And beneath the man, we find his nucleus.
All right, I'm turning the lights on. Okay, open them.
Oh, wow! Wow, what a swell place to work.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I got the key, so I just come in, read comics, play music.
You worked here a long time?
Almost 4 years.
That's a long time.
Yeah, I know, but it's not so bad. I mean, I'm pretty friendly with most of the customers, so I just hang out, bullshit, read comic books.
All right, come out or I'll blast you out.
For shame, Doc. Hunting rabbits with an elephant gun.
Elephant gun?
That's right, Doc. So why don't you go shoot yourself an elephant? You do, and I'll give you such a pinch!
We're going to start our volleys. We hope you like the show. Everything is ready. We're raring to go. We'll give you all the latest songs and dances full of pep. We're gonna start with Hacha. Just watch this chorus steps.
Originally settled as Ocean View during the 1850s, the city's population boomed with displaced
But in my own way, I am king.
Hail to the king, baby.
Hello, everybody. Hello. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for coming. I really appreciate it. And here we are. Here we are to talk about comic books. For those of you that are new here,
my name is Yule Carter, comic book retailer in Berkeley, California.
That's right. Let me just put up. I don't even know where to do it. Maybe it's under style. Oh, here it is. Display names and show headlines. I am Yule Carter. See, Yule right there. Right there. And I own Fantastic Comics in Berkeley, California. We're open every Wednesday through Sunday, 12 to 5 p.m. You want to get a hold of us by email, do events@fantasticcomics.net. Right now, I'm only talking with people that have a reason to talk to us outside of the store. Regular customers they're regular customers. They come in, they give me a call, that type of stuff. We're going to be talking about some comics that are coming out for tomorrow, Wednesday, the 4th of March. Oh my goodness, the month's already over. And we're going to talk about a fallen hero and whether or not they can sidle back into an industry that they were on top of. Plus, we're going to talk about some trade paperbacks that are coming out tomorrow. We hardly talk about trade paperbacks. And I even have a magazine right here, black and white, that'll be up at the front counter. So we'll be looking at that also. It's an exciting show. But first, we're gonna talk to you out there. So you have something that you want to say, you can clickety clack on the buttons right there, and you can you know what, we can put it right here if I can figure out what to do. Hold on a sec. Show comments. All right, look at that. Yeah, let's talk to you guys. Hold on a sec.
Hello. 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 Oh. Go. Look out. Hello.
Hello. First up, Pantinium was here. I have a very, very small list here. If there's a question you guys have for me, I'm more than willing to, get into it. If you can guess who we're going to talk about. Pantinium, yo, 1040. Is this a tax thing? Not you again. This is another one of Yule's greetings to me every time I show up at the store. The others are damn it, why, and F my life, for sure. Jolie Pill in the other room. Hello. Not near Mints here. Hope everybody gets everything they ordered tomorrow. Happy NCBD. Not near Mint has a channel on YouTube. It's usually 6 o'clock my time, and it's Not Near Mint. Right? That's what it is. I'm subscribed to the channel, so I get the alerts. But if you aren't a channel subscriber, you should do that with him. And if you aren't here, you should, hit the bell for notifications, all that other stuff. It's good to be liked. So maybe even, thumbs up. You'll be on the algorithm so that you'll find out more often when it's always Tuesday. It's very rarely anything. Love True Romance. Want to see Spider-Man #1? Hey, all just got back from vacation, so tomorrow I'll have 3 weeks of new comics to catch up on. Holy cow. Excuse me. The Lithid lore. The last 2 weeks have been crazy. And I really enjoyed Iron Man #1. #2 came out. There, if anybody's reading Blood Squad 7, I think that was more like, maybe 3 weeks ago. New one should be coming out soon. That one's an excellent book. There's a bunch of Spidey stuff. There's a tie-in with Venom now, so there's an extra book there. There was an annual. You got all the DCKO or Absolute books, if you get any of those. And if not any of that, there's a bunch of Image comics. Valiant's still coming out. Dark Horse has a few offerings that are worth a damn. All we do is show comics on Friday nights. Watching you is can't miss. YouTube. Thank you very much. I don't have anything else to say. Actually, I do. So I watch a lot of YouTube. That's the main television that I watch. I mean, I'll go out in the living room and we'll do something from a streaming network that's on. Usually stupid stuff that I can read a comic to, play guitar to, ignore. I had some pressing issues that I'm doing right now. So that's good when you're watching stupid television where it really doesn't matter. Usually when somebody gets eliminated. Probably, oh my God, there are so many of those types of shows out there. You know what I mean? They're all bad for certain reasons, but some are worse than even the very bad ones. And I feel like I don't usually do the drama ones too much, although there can be drama within the shows that you watch. Oh, someone's leaving, I'm going to cry. I had to vote you out, that type of shit. But I'm sure there's like worse ones that I could delve into. But if like there's a limit to my getting into them, I've reached as far low as I can go. Maybe if there's like a special host, there might be a reason to do something, but no, not really. So that's the kind of television I watch, stuff that I can ignore. Something I've seen a million times, a lot of Venture Brothers, a lot of things like that where the knickknacks can still be picked up on, but you can kind of just let the rest of the episode. I've become that person. I don't really care about too many new things unless that new thing is really trashy. I feel like my comic books, anytime I'm reading, anytime I'm putting like real effort into something, it's not going to be that way. But yeah, I'm not sure exactly where I was going with that, but speaking of trashy people, I got I don't know about accused. I was having a conversation with somebody that helps me out. Hello. And it's kind of about having conversations about things that are negative. And I don't really think I do that too often, but there is a certain spice that comes with fandom. And it's not like I usually attack any of the product, and I don't usually bring up really bad things, or I should say insignificant things that aren't as bad as they really are. But we have, we're coming up on the April 1st anniversary. I'm not exactly sure when the show falls on that day, but if we're anywhere close, we'll probably have another discussion about it. But when it's a really big celebrity within comics and even outside of comics, I think it's something that should be maybe like had a little. Well, we should talk about it a little bit. It's not really. I'm not flinging dirt. We've already discussed all the bad things, and we really didn't go into it too deep because it's a lot of stuff that not everybody wants to have an in-depth they'd rather have me hem and haw about it more than talk about the nitty-gritty. Besides, I don't know what YouTube's laws are when it comes to stuff like that. People use every other word that they can use in order to not say something because they might get demonetized. And I don't care about the demonetization. We're just having a conversation here. But we had somebody that's deep in comics that got ousted last year or the year before. There was this report on Neil Gaiman. Here we go. There was this report on Neil Gaiman that he was a sex freak. And not only was he a sex freak, he kind of coerces people and maybe forces them to do things that they really wouldn't normally want to do. Maybe using fame, maybe using job, and whatever it is, he's coming from the power's position, and people are not happy with it. We've seen a lot of people in comic books that have done this type of stuff. We've seen people that get famous. You don't have to be famous. You can be a regular person also, obviously. The people that are famous seem to get away with it a little bit more often, maybe a lot more often. Bad behavior can't be excused in quite the same way as it always had been, because number one, not reported on. There's no video cameras that, hey, everybody, look at this horrible thing that's going on right now. And technology is way better in our own hands, and we're seeing all sorts of like crazy stuff going on. But these are still he said, she said, he said, she said stories. But there is a lot of people coming forward saying a lot of the same stuff about him, and it's kind of depraved. I mean, it is depraved. I shouldn't even kind of. If it's true, I guess you have to say. But he doesn't seem like he's like that great a guy. And he just recently had a post on Instagram a few weeks ago where he talked about, having been silent for, like a year and a half. And he thought this would be a good time to have a conversation. And he talks about understanding a little bit better how mudflinging can occur, or smear campaigns, he said, and stuff like that. Talked about having done reporting and talking about all this stuff and being an advocate, blah blah blah, and kind of, this is where I'm not sure. He's using language that just sounds like it's bullshit, is what it is. This is my language. Saying that language was bullshit to make him look better, to make you go, like, if you're on the fence, or maybe a person that isn't on the fence but could be still swayed, and you're reading this and you're like, oh, this is really thought out well, and this does make a lot of sense. And if you're a guy, yeah, yeah, and if you like Neil Gaiman, yeah, I think and then later on he'd let you know that he has a book coming on. All during this time, the thing he knows how to do the best is to write. And this time he's writing, and he thinks he's writing his best thing he's ever done, and it's bigger than the biggest thing he's ever done, and all this shit. And it doesn't sound like a whole lot of people are having it, although there's like 31,000, 32,000 likes on the Instagram post. You can go see it. It's still up. The comments aren't up, so there's nobody that could say anything about it. But it did get a note letting you know that he was what he's accused of. Not in like great detail, but all that essay stuff that people talk about. I said essay. That's funny. I mean, this bathtub he wanted to have a bath in with this nanny. It was so small. I mean, come on. Just ridiculous. I mean, who's this guy think he is? And he now says that he's going to be coming up with his book. So, he could have got maybe even more people on his side if he was going to be doing a comic book, because most of those people don't care about anything. A lot of creeps in comics, a lot of creeps outside of comics, a lot of creeps in government. My goodness. It seems that it's always been going on. And I want you to know that I am no angel. I mean, it's not that I've done those kind of things. But I have, we all have, I assume, all have things that we're in the very least embarrassed about. So embarrassed about that you don't want other people to know. And I don't think I've done like really horrible, no murders, no petty theft, no time served, that type of stuff. But I also have made a choice that I don't want to procreate. I don't want another one of me running around doing even worse things. I marvel at people. Maybe they don't get it. Maybe they don't see it the way I do. But man, it's crazy life out there. And Neil Gaiman's got a bunch of kids that he's raising. I think it's a bunch. Yeah, I don't know. I'm thinking like I've listened to a lot of YouTube about it and people talking about getting shit off their bookshelves and things like that. And when I was talking about him the first time, I was saying I would always have Sandman in the store because regardless, Sandman's part of DC. It's a great series, and I think we can really, ignore that stuff. But I haven't been ordering any of his Dark Horse Neil Gaiman library stuff anymore. I think I only have like one or two of those books left anyway. Probably not going to I don't see any. I mean, I'm not ever against ordering things for people. So if it's something in the system that I can order, I'm more than happy to. I have a bunch of book accounts. I'm always happy to order stuff. It doesn't have to align with how I feel about things. I might raise an eyebrow, but there's nobody on the other line I'm talking to order it. It's just a clickety clack, you know what I mean? But yeah, I don't have. Yes, I have judgments on what people read, but it's more healthy poking fun of, and also realizing that things that I like aren't everybody else's cup of tea. And I just admitted about all the trash television that I watch. So, you know, uh nobody's perfect. But is a year and a half, is 2 years penance enough for uh the people that have felt so strongly about Neil Gaiman? I mean, this person changed. So when you see a line of people that are standing to get his book signed by him, these are hopeful people. They're adoring fans of his, and I've been an adoring fan of his when I was younger. And I remember going into convention lines. These were the comic book days. So, he actually went into a comic store and signed. He didn't have to be a Barnes and Noble or whatever. Now I wonder if he would slum it in comic stores. Real comic stores, not those big ass ones. Anyway, has he done enough penance? Is there enough penance that a person can do? Is he a good writer, and will it matter? Not really sure, but it sounds like all the people that are really seriously hurt by him, and if those people make up even a silent majority of, I mean, these might be the real readers of his, they read everything. It might not. This might be the lead balloon. This Neil Gaiman book, regardless of how good it is. Truthfully, I'm not a big fan of his novels. Good Omens is his best one. He co-wrote it with Terry Pratchett, who I am also not a fan of. I also think that's Terry Pratchett's best book. It's very good book, and it reminds me of like Monty Python. So if you're into that type of stuff, I would recommend Good Omens. It's a novel I think that's worth having on a bookshelf. But if you can't get past the fact that he's a piece of shit, then just ignore it altogether, including his Dark Horse books. But it's part of the DC universe, and it's key storytelling and very important. It birthed Vertigo. sure, Alan Moore came into DC first, but Neil Gaiman's Sandman is going to always be on my bookshelf as long as that's in print. At least the first couple books, I can only have so much space. So still going to keep Sandman in the store because I think it's quality. And again, we're talking like history, and I like having other companies, but we're a Marvel and DC's, bookstore also. Neil Gaiman, Fallen Hero. Let's see here. I saw Bob P. Stone at the gym last night. All right. Anyway, he told me that the first print Absolute Batman #1 main covers are ranging from 100 to 300. Yeah, so we're talking the main cover, the A cover. If it's slabbed, I think it's gone as high as like 350, 380, something like that. And yeah, raw copies are going for over $100 for sure. It's doing really, really good. Now your minute, what's TV? Wasn't that something boomers did in the 1900s? Well, it's still that thing that's hooked up to the PlayStation that allows me to see something on an app. How's your father? Good evening. Fantinuum. I took a gander online, and even the fourth printing ones are up there in price. I'm sitting on an absolute gold mine. I wish I was sitting on all that gold I got. I haven't done any murders this year either. Oh man, did you ever have the dream? I think that was as in depth as I really want to go. Neil Gaiman, perceived bad guy, bad, against woman, the thing that he was such a proponent of. Neil Gaiman is like, he came out on Twitter, I think it was Twitter at the time, and he said, believe all women. And all these women have these things to say about it. He's all, but not these ones. This was consensual. There's letters and documentations and text messages, and you can't possibly read anything negative out of any of them. Oh, Neil. Uncanny Spider Guy. Yeah, second and third prints are pricey. I got 0 of these. My goodness gracious. Battle Buddy says, I love my LCS. Oh, thank you. So, let me tell you about this before we get to new books this week. I bought, all right, so I told you last week that I was thinking of buying this collection, and I'm still thinking of buying this collection, but there's money that needs to be spent in order to make it happen. And I'm a small store. I don't do back issues like people that sell online, and there's a lot of reasons, but these things are so amazing that it's really hard to want to pass them up, especially for some things in my own collection. So it all has to be able to be make enough money and embezzle the rest so I can put things in my own holes. Probably sell it all. But can I even sell all of it that fast? Because again, I don't do conventions. I don't do conventions. And it's tough. Well, in the meantime, this one buy came in. And in this buy was a lot of 90s stuff. 80s and 90s stuff. And the 80s and 90s stuff was Punisher War Journal, the adjectiveless X-Men, the Jim Lee stuff, X-Force, things from around there. And I mean a lot of Punisher Armory, Punisher Summer Special 1 and 2. And all this week, and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. And these are like in the 20s to 40s. And some are duplicates. And I told this guy, all right, I'll give you this much for it. He's all right, that's good. And then I had a customer come in. What's up with it? And I told him, I'll give you all of those for 10 apiece. And he's all right. And he did. And I have all this extra stuff, and I've made my money back. Thank you, Walk. He also got some really good deals on these books because I didn't look them up or anything like that. I just said this price because, break even and whatnot. So what I have left is Punishers in like the 30s and 40s. I think, maybe it's 40s to 60s. Punisher War Journal, Punisher War Zone. I told you about the Armory and the summer specials 1 and 2. Big names on those books. You got Peter David, you got Dan Slott, Dan Abnett, people like that, and then artists. I can't remember who all. And then I just did a buy, and this is even worse of a buy than like the 90s stuff. Again, I knew what I could sell and what I will be able to sell. I got Turtles, in the bin and stuff like that starting tomorrow. Come on in, we can work this out. But I got more stuff that I'm gonna have to price up, and that's Cherry Pop-Tart, which is an X-rated comic book that looks like Archie. And it's filthy, 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 filthy. And that wasn't the only thing. There was a beach towel. There was like buttons and incense sticks and a t-shirt and comic books like crazy, collections like crazy, and they're all mine. But I thought, I like Cherry fine. What it really came down to is back when I was in my early 20s and I was helping out at this comic store, the owner, Tony Love, was like, "Here, check this out." And I'm like, "Oh, no, not that. I know what that is. That's a porno comic." He's like, "Yeah, yeah, yeah, but you got to read it." Oh, all right, all right. Well, we had such great times back then, working for the store, hanging out at the store. Tony was a wild guy. Um, just it was good times, and I think back when I look at a cherry now, I kind of it's time traveling. You know what I mean? And I think it's good smut. It's good smut. So there's like some first editions, number one, not in great condition, but there's no stains, and that's the important thing with pornography and me. I don't care if I watch you drop water on it. I don't want to see no stains on it. Okay. Um, so that's a no-go. And then there's reprints and so many issues that it's just going to take forever to ever sell any of that or all of that, I should say. But it will move eventually, and I'll be happy, and I'll probably be stuck with a beach towel. Anybody interested in a beach towel? Yeah, so that's some of the stuff that I've got in the store, and now we're going to get to new comic books as soon as I can find this.
What's going on right here? It's a big night.
Well, it's just an old run-of-the-mill Wednesday. Well, the calendar's full of them.
Yeah, that's right. Oh, God, come on. Save it. Right, here we go. Boom. New comic books, everybody. I actually got to bring them up. But I have the trades, so we'll start with that. Oh, yeah, I forgot I had this cool picture of a Neil Gaiman candle. I was trying to look for any kind of picture that would have Neil Gaiman praying. And the closest I could get was with this AI picture that it just didn't look like Neil at all. You just couldn't do it. All right, first up, here's a couple trades that are coming out. We've got Absolute Superman #2. Oh, the Absolute Conquest continues. Everybody's. I'm selling most of the books pretty darn well. There's a few like Absolute Flash that's not really doing all that well, but it's still selling out because I don't get extra copies. Same thing with Green Lantern. I'm usually having to reorder. And with as hot as the Absolute Universe is right now, you can't even guarantee that you're going to be able to get those books. So even when they're collected. So you better jump on it while you can. Also from DC, we have Lobo back to back. This is Lobo's back and Lobo's back again. Is that how it goes? This is a really nice $20 edition of Lobo. It's all the Lobo you will ever need. Co-written by Keith Giffen, Alan Grant, with art by Simon Bisley, the Biz. It's just hard-hitting, crazy stuff. It does not have Paramilitary Christmas. And if you're too cheap to buy the single greatest encapsulation of 90s, in the very least superhero, but maybe just comic books at all, you would buy this compendium, Big Fraggin' Compendium 1 Lobo. This is all the Lobo you really need. It's got those two that I talked about. It's got Paramilitary Christmas. It's got all the ones that are drawn by Keith Giffen. You got stuff by Kevin O'Neill, if I'm not mistaken. You got Val Zemeckis doing the regular series. It's just really great. But back to the other one, back to back. I told you last week about Marvel letting this epic print go out of print. This epic book go out of print. Daredevil, the Man Without Fear. This includes the very first issues of Frank Miller's run while Roger McKenzie is actually writing the book and he's just doing art monkey chores. But when it goes monthly and he starts writing it, it's balls to the wall. But this is the important first part of all that. And it's already out of print. So come on, Marvel, get on it. Likewise, last week, this book came out, not out of print yet, but this is the beginning of the entirety of John Byrne's Fantastic Four run, which was pretty much around the same time as that Daredevil. And these are two of the, I mean, I know that's when I was a kid growing up. I'll put Daredevil against any other era's versions of Fantastic Four or Daredevil or maybe anything. It's got to be action adventure. I don't think anybody's going to care about, horror, romance, that type of stuff. That's understandable. But this book, this is the trifecta right here from the same time period. Drawn and written by Walter Simonson. We've got the Mighty Thor. This is the beginning of his run. Hands down, my favorite of all the three is this book right here. I have it in different formats. I have it in the original comic book formats. It introduces Beta Ray Bill. It introduces Malekith. It's just really, really great. And it all builds to the Surtur War. And it starts from the very beginning. Don't be fooled if you read Spider-Man Prey. Is it Prey by Torment by Todd McFarlane? He's just stealing it from this. He's riffing on this. And lastly, not the last book to come out, but the last one I'm going to talk about is Amazing Spider-Man Volume 2, Through the Gates of Hell. Only now is Peter Parker convalesced enough to be able to be on Earth to resume being Spider-Man again, and he's flung right into a whole Venom Carnage story. More on that in a little bit. This is Joe Kelly writing, and it's John Romita Jr. doing the artwork. It's fun stuff. I like it. It's a lot of punching, and when John Romita Jr. is doing the book these days, if it's a punching book, it's gonna be so good, and it is also good. But it's a character in Hellstorm that we don't really know a whole lot about, and we just kind of have to go with it. There's more to come. It's really what I'm saying. It's the beginning of that storyline. So even though this is volume 2, you can jump right on in and be happy with this. All right, lastly, Hannah and the Hells versus the Beatles. Let me take this down. Hold on a sec. Let's go big. Yeah. This is some punk group, and one of the members is standing outside Gary's guitars and really, really wants this guitar. And she convinces herself after the show that I think I kind of sounded like I sucked. And the bandmates are like, you were fine. And he's like, come on. And then they want to get paid and they can't get paid. And there's all this stuff about it. Anyway, she finally gets her money and the guitar isn't there. And it was bought by John Lennon. So the rest of this book is versus the Beatles so that she can get her guitar. I don't know. It's all right. If you like Floating World and you like black and white independence, I think you might want to check this out. If you like black and white, you might want to check this one out. This is the 5th issue of what I thought was a 5-issue miniseries called The Twilight Zone, where there was a different artist, at least, a different creative team. Sometimes it's just a writer artist being the same person. This time it's Francisco Francavilla, who doesn't do a lot of comics these days. But we've also had James Stokoe, Tom Scioli, Nate Powell, just a really, really fun little stories, different artists. Twilight Zone, all in black and white. You gotta love it. Next up, we've got Iceman Omega #1. This is written by, oh God, I can't remember the first name. It's Luciano, the artist. Federico Luciano. I think that's Federico. Anyway, they're going to be doing the writing and now art chores on this Iceman Omega issue. So, everybody's favorite X-Men gets his own solo one-shot. Rob Liefeld's Youngblood #4 comes out. This is an ongoing Youngblood miniseries, finite series eventually. I mean, the guy doesn't even own these characters anymore. He has to license them out from some dude who's crazy and couldn't get anybody to work on his Youngblood story. And only it's Rob's. So this is definitely Rob's. You can't mistake it. I mean, it's right here. It's got, look at that. Look at that guy. Look at that guy. Look at these mouths. Oh yeah, that's perfect. That's some Rob Liefeld right there. Anyway, this is for 3 issues, it's basically just been a big old punch fest. And people standing around with their fists and their teeth like that. But I like it. What can I say? It's stupid. Thundar the Barbarian #2 by Jason Aaron and some guy from out of the country, probably. Lots of cool covers, and the inside's okay. I just wish they could have just put somebody a little bit more special on the art. That's all. And it would have been a perfect book. That's all. Star Wars Shadow of Maul. All right. This is a prelude to the upcoming Disney Plus show. But it's okay. I got my Star Wars fans out there. I'm your hookup for your Star Wars. And yeah, there you go. Next up, we've got a 5-issue miniseries. I think it's 5 issues. They usually are. Moonstar by Ashley Allen and, oh God, what's his name? Audino. It's Eduardo Audino, I think is the name. And I like Danny Moonstar a lot. So I'm hoping it's going to be pretty cool. Nova Centurion #5. This is the Jed McKay book. I'm not reading it. I don't do a whole lot of the space stuff, and Star-Lord and Nova don't do it for me. Never have. Marvel Team Up #14. Well, that's ridiculous. There's no Marvel Team Up anymore. Oh, wait a second. I recall back when I was working at Comic Relief, the hottest writer in comic books that wasn't Brian Michael Bendis was probably Robert Kirkman, and he was doing Walking Dead in a book called Invincible. And then I think Marvel signed him, and he started doing Ultimate X-Men, and then he got to do this issue. Oh yeah, and he was writing Marvel Team Up is what it was. And in this 14th issue that came out, Invincible was the guest star. And as far as I know, that's never happened before or after. So that was pretty big deal over that when that happened. And this is not the first time this has been reprinted. Most recently, I think it was in Battle Beast #1 when they did the bagged copies. You could get really hard to get editions of Battle Beast, and then there was also like a #2 Walking Dead or something like that. Marvel Team Up 14 like this. And there's a whole bunch of covers. I didn't get a lot of them, but I did make sure to get an Eric Larson one and make sure to get the Todd McFarlane one. So come in early or give me a call because they might be out quick. JSA number 17. This is the year 1 story. I think part 4. I am a fan of Jeff Lemire quite a bit. His superhero stuff is excellent, and JSA is top notch. It's never really super exciting, and I don't mean the inside of the book. It's just like the approach. Like, maybe you've heard this one before, but if you haven't, I've never hated an episode of Coach, but I never wanted to watch an episode of Coach. You know what I mean? JSA is kind of that way. They're just, once you get into it, you're pretty happy that you took the time to actually, pay attention to it. But I'm not always into, the older type of characters. And I know, because I see the sales, a lot of people aren't either. But you should. If you like team books, if you like group dynamics, if you like fathers and daughters and sons and mothers and stuff like that, it's less now because it's year 1. But these are the characters that we just saw in the last storyline that do have the offspring, that they have the people that are training to take over for them and stuff like that. This is why they're important, and this is a good story. Like it a lot. Nice House by the Sea number 8. There was a long time where we didn't have any issues of this. There was the 6th issue. Then they made the trade. And then finally, it wasn't Black Label anymore. It was now Vertigo. And since Vertigo's come back, so has Nice House by the Sea. And we just got the 7th issue in a little bit late. We have the 8th issue on time. Come on in tomorrow. You can pick it up. If you haven't got the other issues and you want to get into a James Tynion story, you get the first 2 books, which is Nice House by the Lake. Then you get the first book of Nice House by the Sea. Then you come on in and you get 7 and 8. Batman Green Arrow, The Question, Arcadia number 3. I haven't read any of it. I like Gabriel Hardman a lot. He's writing and he's drawing. He's done that before on other projects, Aces. And these are definitely, if I got to read a Batman book, I like to have some question in it. And Green Arrow too, probably. So I'm just waiting for the collection. But you guys aren't, because I see the sales. So come on in and get it. Daredevil and Punisher number 5. Jimmy Palmiotti is writing, and not Simon Bianchi is doing the art. 5th issue of 5. So, yeah. Oh man, I just said bad things about it, or it wasn't glowing praise for Absolute Flash, written by Jeff Lemire, though. I mean, why would you be reading this, Yule? Because it's an Absolute book. I just don't really care about alternate universes that much. Poison Ivy number 42. Why, Poison Ivy's the mayor of Gotham? What's going to happen? Will anybody care? I mean, other than the people that do come in and pick it up, I got extras just on the off chance that you might want to pick it up. So Batman fans, Poison Ivy's stepping up. You might want to pay attention. Oh, these are the cigarette books. I threw myself off there for a second there. X-Men has an annual come out. Ryan Stegman is not the artist like you would think. He's the writer of the book. Steve Scroce and Sanford Green are the artists on the book, and some other person, I don't know. Sanford Green, holy cow. Steve Scroce, wow. And Ryan Stegman, let's see what he can do as far as writing an X-Men story. But just in case you're a little wary, I mean, you're going to get it anyway, but you want to kind of back it up with something good. I don't know how I'm going to put this on the shelf. We've also got X-Men number 26, which is the beginning of the Danger Room storyline. Jed McKay's writing this. Netho Diaz on art. Need I say more? All right. What is it we got here? We got Absolute Superman number 17. So you get the trades, you get some of the back issues. I sold out of 16. I think I'm getting more. And then here's 17. All right. What's this one? Avengers 36. This is the last issue of Jed McKay's run. Epic finale. I've been enjoying most of the stories that I've read of Jed McKay's Avengers. I'm not a all the time Avengers reader, but I've read a lot of Avengers, and I don't put this high on any list, but it's definitely above Al Milgrom. Batman number 7. Oh, I think this is the Joker storyline. Oh my goodness. Blood and Money starts here. So this is going to be the first story arc, I guess. The first 6 issues were basically just standalone books with a little bit of a connecting thread. The last 2 have been really, really good. I'm really enjoying Batman by Matt Fraction and Jorge Jimenez. I'm really enjoying Batman. You can let people know. It's a darn good book, and it's selling very well. I mean, if it wasn't for Absolute Batman, it would be the best Batman book selling. It's doing really well though, and it's a really good book. And lastly, for new books this week, we have The Amazing Spider-Man number 23. This is part 2 of 9 of Death Spiral. I did already read this issue. Joe Kelly writes, and Ed McGuinness is doing the art. Mark Former on inks, like we would expect. It's an excellent issue. There's not a whole lot of fighting, but I don't think it really needed it. It's just the plot is thickening. It's good. It was a good issue. I was wary. We still have to get into the Al Ewing book, and Charles Soule is going to be writing some of it also, of the storylines. But my big hang up is probably going to be the Al Ewing Venom. But if there is some Venom, some Carnage, some Peter, like this book was, then I'm going to be fine with everything. And hopefully, like this villain thing. Oh, yeah. And what happened at the end of this issue? Holy cow. I wonder, do deaths matter in comics anymore? If they do, holy cow, I could not believe it, because like I've grown up with this person, and it's like kind of secretly one of my favorite characters. So if you know Spider-Man 151, you can go back and look at issue Amazing Spider-Man 151, one of my all-time favorite issues of Spider-Man. It will be a giveaway that's a clue to a death that happens in this issue. So a big deal as far as Yule's concerned. No spoilers though. Tony Love, awesome name, dude. Battle Buddy, Tony Love, that guy. Oh, I wonder if Gaiman was in the Epstein files. He didn't make that much money. Let me see. Okay, all right. Let's see here. I'm going to create the antithesis to Cherry Pop Tart. The main character is going to be a fat, blue-haired woman who wears pants that are too tight for her, and I'm titling it Blueberry Muffin Top. My goodness gracious. More? No, I can't tell you the stories of Tony Love. All right, I'll tell you. We drank a lot there, and we got high there a lot, and sometimes we put vodka in the bong. It's not much of a story. No, I can't tell the stories. We can't do that. That young blood, Road Comic says, that young blood is offensive to the word art. I saw some girl on IG who looked to be 18 and 22 saying Liefeld was the most influential comic artist of her lifetime. Well, I can't imagine. That's amazing. That was on, what was that? On Instagram. Oh, can you email that to me? She also said he's made ton of innovations that completely changed the form. She goes on to wax poetic about his panel layouts. We are clearly in the darkest, dumbest timeline. I should be tall when I do that, or big when I do that. I tried breaking into comics. In fact, I don't know, I think it's on another side of the spinner. I did one of these episodes was fell on my birthday, and I talked about trying to break in. And it was a black and white garbage company called Blue Comic Press. And I had these, Neil Gaiman in the early 90s, Grant Morrison, all these writers, I think, writers. Who cares about artists, that type of stuff. And that's me. I want to write comics. I want to write good comics. And here I am with this company, and I'm going to write for them. And he told me that I needed to put less words on the page. Every first writer's big thing is that they always put too many words on the page. They got to just write and write and write and write. And he recommended looking at Rob Liefeld comics. And what it helped me do was plan out the page along with the artist in a way that was going to be fun for them to draw, but not like just oversaturated with panels and panels and panels, and therefore making me be a lot more brief with my words. So I think you can take good from bad. I personally don't think a great writer is Stephen King, but he does have plots and he does have characterization that a lot of people can't pull off in writing books. And then there's, people that are just like better writers. And there's people that are better artists, but Rob had something. When you can put that finger on the pulse, I mean, not many people. The 90s were different, obviously, in comics. There was QVC, and people were making money on selling garbage. And a lot of that was Image that was coming out. And don't forget the Special Coupon and all this other stuff. And people just wanted to buy multiples, and there were multiples of people that wanted to do this. And I don't know if sales are something you can like fully say that's the reason why something's good, but it definitely was the reason, or it was the shining example of how good Todd McFarlane felt he needed to be because he was making so much money. And this is never going to dry up, and I'm never going to be ugly. I'm never going to not have money. I'm never going to not be able to draw ever again and all this stuff. And never say never. Now he's making toys for DC and making Marvel Comics covers, with toys. Yay. But someday that Spawn movie will come out, and he's going to direct it, and he's going to win an Oscar, a Hollywood award, all that stuff. Yeah. Thanks for showing up, everybody. I think that's pretty much it. Oh, I gotta tell you, I was just before the show, I went to Superburger and I picked up the food and I paid with card, but they had a tip jar and they didn't give me the thing to like put a tip in or anything like that on the card. And so I pulled out my wallet and got $1 or $2 and I was going to put it in the tip jar. And when I did it, I noticed that they didn't see me put it in. And I was thinking, if only I had a clip that would like show you how that felt.
My last name is Costanza. That's Italian. So you and I are kind of like countrymen. Huh? Paisanos!
650 your change.
Ah, yes. And I always take care of my paisanos. So here's a little something.
Antonio!
Si!
Vieni qua! Questa miserabile patrone!
We don't have a tip jar here. Go to our Patreon. Links in the comments down below, and we'll see you next week. Bye.
Lucy and Ramona cruising through the jungles of L.A. Hoping to promote a dream somewhere along the way. They're rolling through the streets, looking for a disco, passing up the treats from a kid named Cisco, trying to make connections with their blemish-free complexions, and just as fate would have it, ended up with Sunset Sam. Sam was selling watches from a suitcase on a TV tray. And Lucy and Ramona kept trying to figure out if he was gay. The three of them were standing, staring at each other, when the light behind their eyes blew each other's cover. The ancient code was branded, and each of them was handed a ticket to their kingdom, 'cause they saw their brother Sunset Sam. Sunset Sam. Lucy was from Compton, and she met Ramona at the zoo. Ramona was from Brooklyn. She left when she was 22. Sam was a native of the Arizona desert, but he split when he was slated for some governmental make-work. Their differences subsided when the common bond was sighted. They were all from the same place that made the famous sunset sound. Lucy and Ramona and Sunset Sam. People on the streets trying to find a plan. People on the streets looking for a land. Lucy and Ramona and their brother Sunset Sam. Yes, sir.